And welcome everyone to Proficiency Bonus here Monday nights, where we are now beginning our new campaign, We Met in a Tavern. As you can see, we have this lovely new layout around here. Bar is a little empty right now, but we'll worry about that in the future. What we will do real quick, a couple of quick shots before we jump over to our players, is many thanks to Many Sided Dice, Team MZ, Streamlabs, Twitch, all of our friends. I cannot forget our newest friend, Little Dragon Corp. If you haven't checked them out yet, please do so. Some of us are lucky enough to be rolling Little Dragon Corp dice this evening. If you haven't checked them out yet, definitely look at them. People are noticing I went a little overboard with my stuff, and I am sitting behind the bar in the overlay. So with that, we will jump over to our players for our, I guess I'll say our first view. So, say hello, everyone, as they are... No, wait, actually, do not say anything yet, because y'all are still bloody muted. There you go. Now they can hear you.
Hi. You look really alone behind that bar.
Huh?
We need to Photoshop some bar patrons in next to you because you look really alone.
Well, I can work with backgrounds. I'm good with materials. People, not so much. You'd get some weird, freakish-looking things popping in there.
Okay, I'll
Just get some puppets.
So, with that, we are going to be kicking off our new stream this evening. So, thank you very much for those of you who are hanging out with us for our inaugural launch here. Now, for those in here, barring the few of us from the actual virtual table here, we are also running a giveaway this evening. We will be giving away a brand new copy of the D&D Essentials Kit. So what I'm going to do, for those of you who are hanging around, I am just going to actually look up my controls here, because I cannot remember what they are. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are actually going to pop this giveaway open nice and early for people. Now, the phrasing that you need to type in to your chat is literally Pelicane. You will see it. It's right beneath me on the sign for our tavern, which will be made a little more clear, and well, it will be made clear in a little while. So with that, I don't think there's any other shout-outs to do right at the moment, except for to jump right in. So, to steal a line from Michael, and so the story is told, I need all of my players to roll a d20 for me.
Oh no. So early. At least not
Oh,
expecting
listen to the sound of those real dice.
Oh yeah.
Music to my ears.
Okay.
Now, do you just want me to tell you, or do you want me to just put a numerical in the chat?
No, just go down. Okay, Artemis, what you got?
18.
Okay, I got Sweet William and roll 20. Bitter Jack.
17.
Okay, Snow Moon.
17 as well for me.
Okay, Lydia.
10.
Okay, and Furia.
9.
Alrighty then.
Calm down.
So, we are actually going to start out with Lydia.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now, I am going to jump over here. So, to set the scene for everyone. The year is 1477. Most of you who have been traveling here and there have heard rumors of problems on the mainlands. Giants up in an uproar a few years back. It seems a small group of people helped put it down. You heard rumors of problems in a further off jungle locale. There hasn't been much going on out in this area where you find yourselves, in and about the Moonshay Isles. Lydia, the ship that you have been serving on, that you've been aiding with your abilities, has recently just made port. It's landed at a small town on the eastern shores of a small island known as Mintarn. Mintarn is an interesting place for a lot of sailors to make berth at, because it is sort of a political melding pot. All are welcome. Pirates, assassins, murderers, lords, knights, wizards, druids, they don't care. They'll take anyone, as long as you honor and respect their codes. Think of it, for those who are looking for something a little more real, think of it sort of like the Pirate Haven Tortuga, if they let the guards and everything, if they let the police in too, and the police didn't mess with anyone there. So pretty much anyone's welcome. It's sort of a neutral ground where people can come and meet and do business without having to worry about things. The captain of the ship you've been with so far is a very sort of gruff, short-haired woman by the name of Brazilin. Sends you in to town, pick up a couple of things, and wants you to meet her back at this new inn that has sort of popped up right on the docks, known as the Flying Pelican.
Mm-hmm.
As you go off to take care of your brief errand and meeting in town, we will scan briefly over to a small couple. Well, what some mistakenly at first take to be a couple. Sitting at a table to the left of the door within the Flying Pelican, we find two rather small halflings. Lost my words for a minute, I apologize, folks. So trying to remember races and everything for all my players. As we sort of glance over, and actually before we do that, let me jump back a little. Lydia, so our viewers can get a visual. What exactly does Lydia look like?
She's a 7'2" furbolg of the purple persuasion, light purple skin, darker purple hair. Always seem to be windswept in some sort of way, with a couple braids on one side, wearing a turquoise pendant around her neck that she's had since she was a wee babe. She didn't grow up around Furbolg society though. She grew up around humans, so she's very familiar with that territory. And yeah, that's what they see. Sturdy lass. I'm not going to tell you her weight though. That's no woman does that.
So now we've done that, we will jump back in, and actually I'm going to turn over and we'll jump to Bitter Jack first. As we've panned into the tavern and we see Bitter Jack and Sweet William sitting side by side. Bitter Jack, why don't you let us know what we're looking at?
All right. Well, Jack is a female halfling. She's about 3'2", 3'3". She has completely pure white hair. Her hair has lost all pigmentation to it. The right side of her head, up to about like the midline where the part would be, is shaved completely bald, and the hair is grown kind of long and, I guess to borrow a phrase, windswept on the other side. She is pretty well decked out with a number of earrings, eyebrow piercings. She has a pretty gnarly neck tattoo. She is wearing comfortable and well-worn looking traveling or kind of work clothes. And the most distinctive characteristic about her would be a kind of like a leather harness slung around her back over her shoulders, with a pair of kind of like bandolier-style holsters just under like each armpit, within which a pair of strange-looking objects are held. Ornate objects of wood and metal.
Okay. And what about Sweet William?
Looking over at Sweet William, he's rather tall for a halfling, closer to about 4 foot. He has shoulder-length dark brown hair that is pulled into a low ponytail. He has mid-green eyes, and he is wearing a dark blue sailor's coat that is stained with salt over a white shirt that seems to be torn around the neck. And around his collar you can see necklaces of various teeth and gemstones woven in. And he's wearing well-worn, comfortable leather boots that reach up to his knees, just about.
Okay. So as we see the two halflings sitting in this inn, having arrived probably about 10-15 minutes ago, as, again, much like Lydia was mentioned to before, this inn is sort of strange, as it is sitting off one of the docks, just floating serenely in the water. As the two of you arrive, the first thing you notice is that the clientele here is varied, wildly. You can see a small, almost crazy-looking gnome, bristly, sort of stuck-out wide beard, tricorn hat on his head, pipe in his mouth, sitting over at the bar, sitting on the table on the same left side as you, but further back in the corner near the fireplace. You see a band of goblinoids. A couple of goblins, a hobgoblin, a bugbear. Looks like there's a warg just sort of curled up right next to the fire, just sort of laying there gnawing on a bone. There's a couple of, looks to be of some sort of elvish descent, sitting at one of the tables over on the right. It seems that this inn is really just sort of a, much like this area, a welcome place for all who respect the boundaries. As you're looking around, you can see there are numerous flyers hanging along the walls, right along beside your table going down. Captains looking for sailors and crewmen to join their ships, promises of wealth and treasure and adventure. You have seen this, the two of you have seen this before, more Sweet William with your experiences with the Marrow. A lot of this feels similar to some of the, we'll call it PR stuff that your crew had done when they were running low on people, trying to drum up interest to get people to join along. As we pan out now, we find ourselves looking at Furia. If you wouldn't mind explaining what you look like.
Furia is a fairly bright and cheerful wood elf, bounce in her step. She is about 5'8", very, very dark, long hair, which is currently sort of self-braided into a braid over her shoulder. She's very plain looking as far as her clothing goes. She seems to prefer comfort over, looking fancy or standing out. Has a bow on her back and a sword at her side, and just seems to be, for the most part, looking around somewhat wide-eyed and minding her own business.
Okay. And as we'll jump back to you in just a couple of moments, as we're going to flip over now to Snow Moon, who has been getting followed a little bit through the town by a couple of interesting looking characters, heavily robed, faces shrouded. Snowman, why don't you let us know what these folks see when they're following you?
So that they see a male dragonborn, and he stands at about 6'4", and he's close to 300 pounds. And he has like coppery, rust-colored scales, and he has kind of like a bony structure under at the base of his jaw. And he has armor, but he prefers to wear just a simple black hoodless robe over top of his armor. And he has a great shield that is sheathed on his hip. And yeah, so that's what these individuals following him would see.
Oh, okay. So Snowmoon's sort of meandering about, just you don't feel overly concerned with these people following you at the moment, but you find yourself, as you're winding around this small town, you find yourself heading down towards the docks, getting away from the more mundane people and the guards you find yourself noticing. And as you're heading back towards the docks, that brings us back to Captain Brazellin for a moment, as having sent Lydia off, is now disembarking the ship and walking down the docks, and ends up walking almost directly into a small gnome. Artemis, why don't you let us know what Brazellin is walking into?
Of course. Artemis is a diminutive gnome. They are on the short side. Haggard upon first look, dressed up and covered in lots of patterns of clothing and clashing every which way. A scarf pulled up around their head to maybe cover, maybe just do away with it. A giant thick braid of bright pink hair. Sorry, I just saw the comment. Yes. They're small. They seem to be carrying an overstuffed bag that is full of something that seems to be clinking and clanking around, but can't really figure out what's in there. Perhaps as they duck to the side, one might see some markings, something like tattoos, but you're not sure of what.
As this rather well-built human woman steps down and again almost steps on you, just sort of looks down for a moment. Seem to be staring at the water a lot. Well, if you're looking for passage, that inn over there, we'll be meeting in. We are taking passages on our next voyage, so fare's only 5 gold, but if you have a worthwhile skill you could bring to our aid if we need it, we will accept trade. Excuse me.
Trade might be something I might be good for. The gold, not so much.
Then come along. I'm going over now. See who else we can drum up. We're running a little light.
Light, of course, yes. I will certainly help. Big person.
So
it's kind of scurry along.
Oh, is this? Go ahead.
William will just kind of lean over to his sister Jack and kind of under his breath and subtly point. So, regards to la note de ventre, and he is saying, "Look at that one."
So as a couple of moments go past, and Furia, you see a rather large, almost hulking form coming towards you as a furbolg is walking up, sort of looking at some sort of sealed item. It seems to have your description on it. Lydia, it seems to be a description of this person in front of you.
Are you... Pyria?
No.
Pyria?
Oh, yeah, that's me. It's,
Oh.
Furia.
Oh, silent P. I see. I understand now. Furia. All right. Come along with me. Back to the tavern.
Why?
I was sent to get you.
Why?
I just take orders. I don't question why. Here is the package I was sent to give to you.
Well, sure, I guess. I mean, I had a free afternoon anyway. And...
Well, here's the package. I guess you can have it now. Take it from me. I don't want it anymore.
I'll take it.
It seems to be a small sealed envelope.
Do you want to read it now, or when we get to the tavern?
I'll read it later.
And it's not Pyria, it's Furia.
Furia.
Furia. All right. Let's go back to the Flying Pelican. Have you been there before?
I think I passed it on my way here, but I don't know.
I don't know either if you passed it on way here or not.
There's so much water.
There's a lot of water. Is it your first time in port? I take it.
Well, I haven't been here before. Are there any fish?
I'm
Do you know
sure
where I can
there's
find a
lot of
fish?
In
Oh,
the
okay.
water.
I'll check that out later.
Okay.
I'll follow you.
All right. I'll lead the way.
So it takes you a little while to get back. Snow Moon, at this point, you can see there seems to be some sort of going on as there's this rather built human female just barking out at people, calling all comers to come into this inn that you are now passing by in front of. Says she's looking for crew, looking for
And
help.
audio. I'm losing audio. I'm sorry. I didn't hear any of that.
Did anyone else hear me, or am I breaking up?
I heard you.
Okay.
You sound fine to me, but...
Okay, maybe it's me.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure before I went through. So as you're still being sort of followed by these two individuals, you hear this human female calling out to people that they're looking for passengers, potential crew members, anybody with skills to go on a voyage or an adventure with them. And they seem to be calling everyone into this inn you're passing by, the Flying Pelican. If you're speaking, I'm not hearing anything.
Oh no. Zoltio cut out. He's mute.
Yeah, he's muted and he doesn't realize it.
Oh really? No, he's not muted.
Can you hear me?
We can
Now
now.
we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not muted. It just keeps dropping out for some reason.
Weird.
Sorry.
Okay, so what were you saying? We didn't hear anything you said.
Okay. So he hears this human calling out, and he volunteers. I'll join this journey. I'm looking for a new direction, and I'd be happy to join this journey.
And Bitterjack and Sweet William, you are both hearing this row outside. As a couple of seconds after you hear this call, you see the door burst open, and again, this stands about 6'2", 6'3", very well muscled, almost like just slightly longer than like crew cut, dark black hair on this woman's head as she comes bursting in. and again just starts calling out that she's looking for people, looking for this grand adventure. She has a huge plan in place. Following behind, you see a dragonborn, a gnome, and then a few moments later, ducking through the doorway, is a massive... I'm not sure... given how much Sweet William traveled, I'm pretty sure you would have seen a Furbolg. Bitterjack, I'm not 100% sure on you. Not 100% sure how long you've been... how long you were in the crew with them, so... It's very possible you have if you've been there for a while. And then an elf right behind that one, looking a little confused. But still following as Captain Brazilian get right in front of the bar now and is calling out, well, we're looking for like-minded individuals to join us. We have found a map of some sort, you might call it. Promises of great wealth, arcane powers, and more than a little danger on the way, especially if some others. And you watch as she casts sort of a sideways glance over both shoulders, one looking at this rather wild-bearded gnome with a pipe in his mouth, and then a table full of, again, roughly elvish-looking individuals. You're not sure, half-elf, you're not really sure what they are, but they have their long, sort of pointed ears. The hood's pulled up a little bit, but as she mentions the map, everyone and immediately notices that all heads turn to face them. Except for the barkeep, who's just puttering around behind. No, it's a very sort of strange-looking Aarakocra. Looks to be about 5 foot tall to the shoulder, but then has a somewhat elongated neck. Bright white in color, hanging on the wall behind him, behind her, is a wooden staff. The end of it branches out and looks like it's cradling around some sort of a small gemstone. It's going about her business, looks like cleaning glasses. When people call out for drinks, one of the serving people comes over, gets them their drink. As Captain Brazilian is going about her spiel.
Oi, Jackie. Think we can get a lift? And maybe we could swipe that map and boat while we're at it too.
She is loud, but it's better than nothing. We need a ship.
Yes, and look at all those tall women over there. Don't you just want to climb them?
Jack looks over towards the hulking stature of Lydia. Elle est grande, eh?
Yeah.
She gives a speculative eye to Sweetway. Keep it in your pants, eh?
Always do.
We both know that is not true. Anyway, shall we see what the loud, je ne sais, human, yes, si, oui, si, Spanish.
Jack is bilingual.
Because Jack has not practiced her accent.
Oui, monsieur.
What is not all of you are human.
It's very good. Yes, she is a human. Hey, human! Me and my sister would like passage on your ship.
You see about 3 heads turn and look at your table as there are a couple of humans at the bar. As Captain Brazilian just sort of looks over and shakes her head. Well, as I've been telling folks, it's 5 gold if you're paying. Or if you join up and you have a useful skill, well, we can barter and make use of you.
Oi!
You got a helmsman or navigator?
Not a very good one.
What is she?
I tell you, I'm the best at steering ships. And I'm not too bad with a start shot myself.
You sort of rub her chin a little bit. No. Giving Sweet William the once over.
He just kind of smiles, and Sweet William, he doesn't have any tattoos or piercings or anything, but he does have one bright gold tooth.
See, you get the feeling that this woman is basically trying to get a measure of you at the moment. Then looks over, sees Lydia approaching. Oh, good. You found her. You
Oi.
gave her the letter, I assume.
Yes, but she hasn't read it yet.
Probably should have been
Was
more
she supposed to read
explicit in my
before?
instructions. That is my fault. I did not give you fair warning. Hello, my dear. It's Furia, is it not?
Yes, do I know you?
Not at all, but you will. I have heard... I suppose I'll say I have heard tale. And it seems you have some gift inland for speaking with food. Animals.
Yeah, I can.
So, well, and I announced I would be arriving on this island. I sent some feelers out as I am in need of someone of that persuasion to join us. Someone passed me your name and said you were looking for other things and may be willing to use your skills for us if we take you from this place. Basically, the letter you declined to read was an offer of, shall we say, employment.
Oh. Well, I mean, I was rushed along. Yeah.
Did I rush you last? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
If you hold on a minute, I'll read it and get back to you. And I'll open the letter and read it.
And it's basically just that. It's very short. Again, somewhat... it's not overly well written, as you're getting the impression that this captain probably did it herself. Is offering free voyage, meals, as long as you agree to utilize your animal husbandry skills, shall we call them, to aid in her next venture.
Jack leans over to William as this exchange happens, and she kind of quietly to him, she says, I must misunderstand. They say the elf she is talk to like fish?
I don't really get the gist of it either. Oi, you talk to fish?
You have a fish? Can I see it?
No, but, I can help you find one.
Me too.
Do you want to eat the fish? I can order us some fish off the menu.
No, I'm trying to discover how they breathe underwater. I want to be able to replicate it. That's a different story.
Have you seen a fish before, lads?
Oh.
They got gills.
For what reason?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out how they work.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll come along. I can talk to animals, and I've heard that water is salty. I can also create, fresh water, not salt water.
Oh.
You definitely seem to have caught her interest with that
Interesting.
little bit. She sort of turns her head over and looks down at the gnome who she nearly stepped on as she was in her rush to get to the inn. As she is standing... Oh, how tall is Artemis?
3 foot on a good day.
Yeah, so she is literally more than double Artemis's height. So she just sort of
Sure
looks
is.
down at you.
Well, if you're looking at what I can do, I mean, I know a little bit more about fish than this fancy lady over there does. I know how to move water around, maybe ease passage over rocks and such like that. Maybe I haven't tried it in a while. Actually, what can I do? They're gonna dig into their bag and they're gonna pull out a book and kind of like thumb through this massive tome that looks like it has been tossed in the water about a dozen different times, redone, pasted back together, tossed again. I know a lot about the ocean, or at least around here. It's about all the different crabs and fish and sharks and the things like that. Might be helpful. Oh, and I can do like magic-y things, but that's kind of boring.
Ooh, what sorts of magic-y things?
Where does that come from? Oh!
Oh,
You.
sorry. I should have been more specific. Who are you?
Well,
I'm Lydia.
you might want to just call me from my first name, Artemis, or Art, but
Artemis.
they're going to try and clamber up onto the back of a chair and extend a
Okay.
hand to
Okay,
shake.
I extend my hand. Please,
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you.
My name, formerly Artemis Bartholomew von Golgoth de Ville, but you can call me Art.
Art is much easier. Oh no.
Yes,
That's
it's
quite
the
a
short
mouthful of a name.
Yes.
Why do gnomes have such long names?
I do not understand these words.
But on the subject of magic things, some cracky thunder stuff and the water
I do
stuff.
that too. Some quirky thunder stuff.
Yes, quite fun and entertaining and scares the dock workers.
The captain
Oh,
will
yeah.
look in between the two of you, look up. There. Lydia certainly had her uses in a couple of scuffles here and there. I suppose... Well, 2 of you make it twice as quick to deal with those sorts of issues.
Why not, Captain?
Yes, one aims for the head and the other for the kneecaps.
And you there,
I
scaled one.
got you.
You said you were interested. What do you bring to offer? Gold or service? Apparently our audio is still not working for Mr. Snowmoon.
Okay, I hear you. Sorry.
There we go.
So the captain has asked you, what are you bringing to the table, gold or service?
Ah,
What can you offer to benefit the voyage?
I can offer you my service. I haven't spent much time on the sea, but I've dedicated my life to the mastery of my blade. I can stare down any force, any battle without flinching. And I will dedicate all of my effort and my energy to any goal we set and to accomplishing it.
And it seems we have a group of, why do I keep counting you, Lydia? Well,
Lydia tries to duck behind something. But
just a little bigger than the gnome. Well, it looks like we have 5 additions, so... You 2 over there at that table. Come over here, join us. She starts pulling a couple of chairs over around a table. looks over at the bartender, orders a round of drinks for everyone. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Anyone who's interested can go ahead and.
She's my captain. I'm not putting no perception on her.
What makes you think it's the captain?
Oh, fair enough.
15.
Shifty bartender.
Okay, so anyone 15 and up. Okay. Okay, so we got Sweet William, Snow Moon, and Lydia. Okay. So as one of the servers comes over, it's a young brunette woman, sets down 7 small, what look to be shot glasses, one in front of each of you. The beverage inside has a powerful, almost like moonshine ethanol strength smell coming off it. This is some, whatever the captain ordered, this is some heavy shit. For the 3 of you that, with your perception checks though, you all
Inferior,
notice that 4 other people within the tavern have all taken 2 or 3 steps closer. As the captain's sitting down, pulling those of you around, and sort of pressing this map out on the table in front of you. And as you look, and it appears to be, and give me a second, I am going to actually shift you over somewhere. Once I get to the right spot, we're going to, so, and for, my viewers, actually, I don't have that one set here.
There we
So, and you should just be seeing a black screen at the moment.
Yes,
Yep.
And we are going to reveal. And, oh, really? You're gonna... You are literally gonna make this hard for me.
Let's roll 20. It's gonna do that.
You know. Okay, let's try it this way.
Jack picks up the drink. She's gonna gives it a sniff. She turns to William and just says, "Son of a piece."
Okay.
Oh, there we are.
Back down on
I
the
see
table.
it.
So, y'all, what you're seeing
Mintarn.
is
See a very
that's a little
tiny-
quicker. Yeah, so you can actually zoom in a little bit on that.
There.
This is, mind you, the map she's showing you is basically a somewhat crudely hand-drawn image of the areas around Mintarn. What you're noticing is, and I will say, Bitter Jack and Sweet William, given your extensive sailing, we'll assume somewhat in this region, as you're looking at this, you immediately recognize where it is, and you're seeing that there are 3 additional circles on this map that the 2 of you would notice, or would recognize, I'll say, are not on other maps. So as she's hunkered down, and let me just grab, I'm going to show you where they are on here. There's one marked up here. One marked over here. And one marked just almost due south, right on the edge of the map. As she looks at the group of you and says, "Well, here's what we have planned. There has been talk recently of islands appearing where they ought not to be. Some of them, whole villages of people, full of coin of no like that we've seen. I mean, it's gold. It's certainly none of the nations that we've run into here. And, well, if this one, and she gives a little nod down at Sweet William, is half the navigator he claims to be, obviously he spent some time on the sea. And she goes into the inside of her vest and pulls out a gold coin and just sort of drops it on the table. And you watch as it spins for a second and then falls and lands face up.
Would I recognize the minting of the coin, like where it's from?
As you all look at it, only one person recognizes the coin. Lydia. You have seen this coin. An 8-sided gold coin with what you know to be a Viking longship embossed on it. The human village that raised you used to trade in these.
Oh.
The rest of you, as you're looking at them, and you're going through and you're thinking, okay, we've dealt with people from Waterdeep, we've dealt with Neverwinter, trying to think of areas you've been. Furia, being in the woods so long, a lot of currencies, we'll call it, sort of escapes you. You know the local coins and things like that you've used around you, but things from further to the east and other realms are probably a little outside of your knowledge. But for those of you who are traveled, you all notice this isn't a coin from any kingdom or realm that you're aware of. This coin came from one such island, as did, well, then the head turns a little bit of a half grin over at Lydia, as did some of my crew. But there are more treasures out there with wondrous items that, as I said, we have heard tale of these. And with that, we have a little bit of time before we are to take off. We plan on setting sail within the next, we'll say, to give everyone, my crew can use a day or two to stretch their legs, to give those of you who are new faces and joining time to stretch your legs and set your affairs in order should you need to. We will depart in 2 days' time hence. And with that, she starts to roll up the map, tucks it away in her and actually then pulls it back out. Looks around, pulls out a small dagger, and proceeds to slowly cut the map in half. Rolls half of it up, puts it inside, and hands the other half to you, Lydia.
Sure
Be a
about
dear
this,
and
Captain?
hold on to that. Keep it secret. Keep it safe until we depart. Best if not one of us has everything, especially with... And as she turns over her head and you notice the wide-bearded gnome has moved another 2 or 3 steps closer and has been listening in. Best be safe. For those of you who have joined, you can stay on land, or we do have communal cabins within the ship. Take your choice. In 2 days you'll be in them anyway. And with that, I'll take my leave of you. Lydia,
Right, Captain?
I
Yes?
expect you back on the ship. And, well, sleep on the ship. We like to know where you are, especially if you have the
Alright.
other half.
Gotcha.
And with that, she gets up. Sort of gives very sort of curt nods to the group of you. picks up her drink, slams it back, and walks out. Leaving
Never
the
got
6
used
of you
to
just
that
sort of
stuff.
sitting there.
Well, that was interesting.
I'll drink mine as well.
It burns something fierce.
Never
So
got
is
used to
everybody
that.
tall that isn't from here, or is it just me?
Is everyone
It
that's
is
small not from here?
most definitely you.
Good to know.
All of the kin in my former clan are of this height, of my height or taller.
I don't know my kin. Well, I know my kin, but I don't know my kin. You know?
Mm.
No.
I was raised by a village of humans, and they all loved me, and it was all good. And then the captain took me in, because I'm looking for me home, but I don't know that kid. You know?
I see.
Well, isn't that sweet? Looking for your home. Fairy tale, isn't it?
I suppose, maybe?
And
Why does
sorry.
it feel like fire is coming out of my nose?
Oh, that's the captain's favorite. She loves this drink. I don't know what it is, but it does taste a little like burning, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not having that again. If
Well,
I can help it.
Well, you have to do it every time she makes a deal with you. So I've had it a couple times. I never get used to it, though.
Maybe if I plug my nose when I drink it, that will help,
Just try
right?
plugging your nose now. Maybe it'll stop.
With one
And-
finger, pushes her cup or her shot glass toward Fira. She's like, "If you wish to try, plug nose, yes."
Oh, I said I would never want to do that again. Thanks.
And this whole time, Snowmoon has never touched the drink at all.
There are 3 glasses in front of Sweet William. 2 of them empty.
So, Art, you say you know some magic.
Some, yes. Not a lot yet.
Neither do I, but I'm willing to learn.
Yes, exactly. Knowledge is power or something.
Okay.
But I
There
did
you are.
hear, Feria, you wanted to see a fish.
All right.
I've seen a fish. I want to study a fish.
Like, do you want me to catch you one and you can put it in a bowl and feed it?
I would appreciate if you caught me one and I had a bowl of water, but I
Oh
don't
yes, the water
necessarily
in the
need
bowl,
to
of course.
alive.
Of course.
I'll just
All right. I'll. What time is it?
At this point, it's probably a little after midday.
I'll go outside and try to catch a fish.
Okay, you got a fishing pole?
Okay, I'll go try to
Well-
find a fisherman to catch me a fish.
We have lots of time to kill before we leave. Maybe there's something else to see on this island. Sights, yes. Any beautiful people would like to join me for a rendezvous? Yes.
I'm outside.
yeah, I probably would have followed Lydia at the promise of fish.
So then I'm definitely just kind of proclaiming this to the bar.
As like the table walks away from him, Jack is like, "They are more interested in their fish than they are your charms."
You quiet.
The 4 of you who are still sitting there. The 4 of you that are still sitting there. Math. You notice that a couple of minutes after Lydia gets up and walks away, 2 of the goblins get up, walk out the door. A couple minutes later, the gnome gets up and walks out. 3 out of the 5 elves get up and walk out.
Jack, like, elbows William. Points.
Yes? No, I think I could do for another drink. What do you say, Jack? Come on, another on me.
Stop drinking the piss. Guillaume, there is...
The only thing to do on this rock is drink paste.
There are ruffians. And they have gone in the direction that the Lord Captain went. We have...
Yeah.
There is, I think there is a decision to make. Brother mine? If we are to join this Lord Captain, we should perhaps follow these men. But we have seen her map. We could go our own way.
No offense, I would rather have some more stimulating company.
Fine, you are an insufferable nitwit. Come, we must see to these men. I have a feeling that they are up to no good.
Yes, there's some stimulating conversation and interactions to be had with a punch to the face and such.
You, I like.
William and back at the gnome a couple of times. She says something in halfling to William.
Oh, yes? Oh.
So we have to establish how I'm gonna handle speaking to him in like
You could just
Private
do like
messages.
In their tongue. She asked him what Artemis said because she didn't understand about 3/4 of it. The words were too big.
I motion to Jack. I point at him, and then I make a fist at the door.
Jack turns to Art. She says, "My brother is too much the drink. Oui. I am of small language. Please talk slowly. And use the little words. He is useless to help for my understanding."
Art pauses for a moment, just trying to like think of their the way they speak and their lexicon. Let's go punch some people.
Say out. Since we will be on this trip together with Yumi and my sister, how about this? I will pay you a silver piece every day to tutor her in common. Huh?
We can try.
Come on, mon amis. Let's go and, how do you say, punch? Yes, punch.
And Scaly Boy, are you coming along? Snow Moon.
Yes, he's thinking quietly to himself, and he just nods his head.
Right. It's this like pack of like tiny little things and this giant dragon.
And he,
Superior.
so he,
Are
he leaves
Lydia
his.
and Fira like haranguing a fisherman as we head out of the bar after you guys?
So, Furia, what you want is not to get a fishmonger, because the fishmonger already has the dead fish. What you want is a fisherman.
Live fish
A fisherman.
that I can
Yes.
see. I can
Oi.
hold by the tail and see breathing.
Oi,
or rather,
a fisherman. Not
Whatever
a
fish
fishmonger.
do when they're in water.
Right, we'll go find one. Off to the docks.
So as you walk out, this tavern that you've come out of, it's rather unique. As I mentioned, it feels like you're sitting on a boat. Even with just the little bits of waves that are coming in at the dock, it's sort of, that little like bit of wave you feel when you're standing on a boat. As you walk out, you feel like you're on a massive oval deck. You sort of look to your left, right in front of you, about 10 feet, there's a small rope, basically a rope bridge, wooden planks laying across it, attaching this into stone docks in front of you. As you're looking out either side, you notice there are what look to be stone wells sitting on the side of this inn. They're only about 8 or 9 inches tall. There's these little stone walls, but have massive bluish green crystals that seem to almost glow and pulse with a little bit of energy. As you're gazing around, I'll say, go ahead, Lydia, make a survival check for me.
Ooh. That is, oh wait, 21.
Okay. It takes you all of about 3, maybe 5 minutes of just walking around the dock areas. You've been around. You've made berth in more than a couple of ports. And you know where typically to find like the local or the kids that are looking to fish and catch food for dinner that you think that you'll be able to hire them, a couple of silver, should be able to get them to either catch you a fish or at least try to. So as you're looking around, you manage to find one little scrawny, somewhat looks to be from a less affluent area, as sort of tattered shirt, pants are rough, frayed around the legs. You can see he's got about 5 or 6 fish already sort of hung on a post. Still got his line in the water though, just sitting, holding his fishing pole, half in, half out of it.
Is this a child or a man?
It looks to be a child.
Hey, you there. Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
You're big.
You're young. Yes, and observant, aren't you? Here, have a copper. And I flip him a copper.
Lay down.
Yeah.
It's his pocket.
So, you fishing?
Yes, Marm. Trying to catch some food for the family.
I'll give you 2 silver pieces for a live fish.
I'm sorry, for a flying one?
No, alive.
Oh.
Alive.
He sort of looks back over at the ones he's got stuck under the post.
Yeah.
If you don't mind waiting a few, I can try. I've been having pretty good luck today.
Sure.
I sort of step out from behind Lydia.
Oh.
I just need a small one. I mean, small. It doesn't have to be eating size.
Furia, do you have a glass jar or containment or something?
No, I'll just dangle off the dock or wade in. How deep is it here? I don't know.
No, what are you going to keep your fish in?
I'm not keeping it
You're not
necessarily.
keeping it? I thought you were going to have a pet fish.
I don't want a pet fish. I just want a fish.
Karen, you have the pet fish now? Yes. There will be nothing to be said about it.
I don't think I have anything that you can carry the fish in anyway. So anyway, we would. Do you want one of his fish that he's already caught then?
As you point at
Well,
the
if you
post, you can see it's basically, it looks like he's got almost a hand, like a shaved wooden spear. He's just taking the fish as he catches them and just jabs them into him, so there's like a spear sticking through the middle of it.
Okay.
No, Lydia, those fish are dead. I want a fish that is alive.
A live fish that you're not planning on keeping then?
Yes.
Alright.
The kid sort of scratches the side of his head a little bit, says,
Very worried about our
if you're not going to keep it,
Yeah.
can I have it afterwards?
Period.
Yeah, if I don't accidentally let it go. I'll try not to accidentally let it go.
Okay, he goes back and you can see he seems to be working a little more now, wanting to get that 2 silver from you. A couple of minutes later, you hear from behind you, Lydia and Furia. We don't want any trouble. Just hand us over that half of the map your captain gave you, and we'll be on our way.
Are you feeling all right? That didn't sound good. That throat thing.
Is that the kid talking?
Maybe you should go to the inn and get some tea.
He's talking!
As you turn around, you see there are 3 hooded individuals.
Okay, are they near the child?
So the child is to your right.
Okay.
So you're probably a couple of feet away from the child as you turn around as these people approach. And then they're probably about 15, 20 feet back from you. But they are walking towards you currently.
Okay.
As you're looking at them, you can see one of them, hand crossbow in their hand at the side. The other 2 seem to have some sort of bladed weapon.
Oh no. I'm in much trouble. P, what do you say I give this kid his 2 copper and we take care of these ruffians? I gotta work on my accent, but I'm working on it. Anyway, the point is, do you want to give the kid these a couple silver and we'll get them tomorrow to get the fish for you?
I really don't think it's gonna take that long to take care of these guys, do you?
Okay. I'll leave it up to you, P.
My name's Furia. Who's
I
P?
know, Furia.
No, Furia. Like F, not
But
P.
it begins with a P.
I didn't name myself.
Doesn't click.
Anyway, well, maybe if we just walk away from the kid, he won't get hurt.
Okay, you lead the way.
I'll just start walking a decent amount away from the kid.
Okay, so the kid is sitting at the far end of the dock, so you can head back
Okay.
into town, which basically they're coming down the dock towards you. So you can turn and walk into town, or you could try to walk past them as they're approaching you.
We'll walk towards them, I guess.
I'm not gonna try walking past them.
Okay, then we'll walk
How long
towards
is the
them.
dock?
I'm sorry?
How wide is? How long and wide is the dock?
So the section of the dock you're on is about 10, maybe 15 feet wide.
Okay.
And from where the kid's sitting at the far, we'll call it the far southern end, up to where the flying pelican was is probably about maybe 50 to 70 feet.
Okay.
So it looks like they probably followed you out within a minute or so after you guys left.
So I guess we'll meet them, or try to meet them, if not in the middle of the dock, closer to the inside.
Oh, okay. So you guys are just approaching them.
I'm snapping my fingers like a jet. No, I'm not. That would be...
Where is William, Jack, Snowmoon, and Artemis?
So you guys are
at this
probably
point?
just walking out the front door of the inn. So I'll say for the 4 of you, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. As they had a good couple of minutes head start on you, so.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
20. Not an edge.
And Artemis,
Sorry, what are we rolling?
perception.
Oh boy. Okay. No. That's better than usual. 18.
Okay. So as actually, all of you except for I think it was Jack rolling the 10, all of you can see off to your left-hand side. Out of the groups that left, you don't see the goblins or the gnome, but you do see the 3 hooded individuals walking down towards, and you can very easily see Lydia, head above these 3. And
With the light on top of her, she'll be a lighthouse.
So would William be pretty easily be able to kind of tell that a shakedown is kind of happening?
Given William's behavior pattern, yeah. In the back of William's mind, you're going, son of a bitch, that's my plan. That's what I would have done.
Get them! Get my map! I mean, get the map!
So I guess as Farah comes into decent speaking distance with these people, you should really get that throat looked at. And did I hear you threaten my friend Lydia here?
I'd like to be trying to sneak up within 10, 15 feet behind them as they're talking to Furia.
Okay, go ahead and make stealth checks. Any of you are trying to be stealthy. Artemis Snowmoon, are you trying to be sneaky, or are you just walking loud and proud?
So I didn't, since I rolled a 10, I didn't perceive this at first, but as we keep walking, am I starting to
right,
get the
and
picture
as you
here?
heard Sweet William sort of call out and point it out, you can definitely see that something's going on. With your perception, you're probably not hearing what they're saying.
Okay. He's not going to say anything yet since he hasn't put the whole picture together, but he's going to walk in loud and proud with his hand on his blade, ready to unsheath it if necessary.
Oh, okay.
Both of Jack's hands have gone like this.
And you said you
I'm
are
gonna be
rolling
trying.
stealth?
Oh yeah, sorry. It was a 14 plus
Oh, okay.
17 total.
17. William, you going in sneaky as well, or?
Can I see any one of them that are a little more isolated?
No, they
than
look
the
to
other?
be they look to be pretty close. There's one that's probably 2 or 3 feet in front. Looks to be the spokesperson of the group, and the other 2 are basically maybe 4 feet apart, but only 2 or 3 feet behind the individual. They seem to be pretty tightly clustered, as they were. Looks like they were only really anticipating having to deal with 2 people.
Okay, and have they noticed us?
Well, at this point, have you rolled stealth? Because right now, Snowmoon is just walking for them. You notice that Jack is definitely trying to take it a little slower.
Yeah, to be clear, she's not creeping. She's just walking straight down the dock at them. I'm just not making any noise or anything.
Yeah.
She's not gonna draw their attention until she gets close enough.
Okay, so I'll let Jack kind of go forward a little bit, and when Jack gets in range, I want to shoot him with a hand crossbow.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
going
is
to cast Fog Cloud on me to hear you.
well, before we get there,
Okay.
as this is all happening behind them at the moment,
Oh.
Furia, as you have asked that, the one in front sort of chuckles a little bit and looks over directly at you. No, lass. It's not a threat, it's a promise.
She just sort of raises her eyebrows and
And with that, as she turns over, and you watch the individual to her left start to pull up the hand crossbow, I need all of you to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Snap.
Ooh.
That's not terrible.
bad.
That's my initiative modifier.
Yeah, I need to check mine too.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. Oh
23.
man!
Nice.
That's a nat 20.
I rolled a big
As high
fat.
as I can go.
I rolled big fat 1.
Okay, so give me a second. I'm just tossing something in roll 20 so I have one nice and easy to track. Okay, and then we have I'll have them just run. Okay. So, Jack, what was yours?
It's 17.
Okay, Fury, you said 23.
Yes.
Lydia?
15.
Okay, Snowman, I think you said was a 1, right?
Yep, crit
Oh
fail.
my god.
Man.
Sweet William?
24.
Okay, Jesus.
Hopefully, I got it out of my system.
Okay. Wait, why did I put a 7? I can type, really. Okay, Artemis?
4.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay.
Join me.
Okay. As we get this all set up here, what we will do is it is just about 9:30, so we're going to go ahead and take our break right here before this battle commences.
No.
So thank you very much, those of you who are hanging out with us, as we are going to take a quick, 5 to 7 minute break, top off our drinks, get where we need to. Don't forget, if you are, I'll call it late to the show, we do have a giveaway running right now. So if you are interested in winning yourself a free copy of the D&D Essentials Kit, go ahead and type Pelicane into our Twitch chat. That's Pelicane, and be entered. We're going to pull the drawing probably, depending on how long this battle takes, how well our party does with this. We may pull it right afterwards. We may wait a little bit longer if this goes real quick. So keep that in mind, and we will be back in just a few moments. back from our first break here at our new campaign. We met in a tavern. And so, with
We
that...
met in a tavern where we all had really bad, unpracticed accents.
Yeah.
And probably will for another week or two. And with that, though, we are no longer in the tavern. Two of our
That scared me.
allies have gone off to try to find a fish, only to be accosted by three somewhat elven-looking individuals. And as some, what is Lydia and Furio? What is your passive perception?
Mine's 15.
15.
Yeah, so as neither of you have noticed Bitter Jack quietly walking forward. Snow Moon, well, you probably, given your attention on those two, even Snow Moon just walking up normally, you probably haven't even noticed them because they're still, I'd say at this point, Bitter Jack's probably about maybe 25, 30 feet back from the two of them, from the group of three of them. Sweet William, Snow Moon, and Artemis, you guys are probably about 50 feet back from them. It's just a level, flat surface. It's like basically it's a stone dock is what you guys are standing on.
Okay. My priority would be to protect the child, too, by the way.
Okay. Well, as it starts out, Sweet William, it comes to you. You are top of the order at 24.
So as Jack is making her approach, he's gonna reach down to his waist for his hand crossbow, look down the sights at it, and say, "Mange ça, eat this," and loose it.
Okay, which one of the three are you shooting at? There's the one on the left with the hand crossbow, and there's the other two that look to be holding some sort of bladed weapon.
The one with the crossbow.
Oh, okay.
So they had drawn weapons.
Yes, they...
I wasn't sure.
They haven't really pointed at them. So one had the hand crossbow, the other two just had their hand hanging down, looked to be some sort of like curved, maybe a scimitar almost. And then as one looked over the shoulder, you saw the hand crossbow start to get pulled up. And that's when Sweet William fired off the attack. Unfortunately, it's going to sail a little wide. And just sort of, you hear the sound of as the bolt lands on the dock just past them. And you stand where you are? Are you moving closer?
Sorry, I thought I was unseen by them.
No,
You're not
there's...
seen by us.
Yeah, you haven't been seen by Lydia and Fira.
Here.
You didn't roll stealth, so you weren't hidden from them. So it wouldn't be a surprise attack from them.
Okay.
Okay, and you're staying where you are?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll bring us over to Furia.
But I've noticed the crossbow bolts
Definitely.
getting by.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I'll sort of look down.
You don't see Bitter Jack, but as you're here, and again, you hear the sound go off, and you can see now behind them as you look back, you can see Sweet William, you can see Snow Moon. It's probably a little harder to see Artemis, but...
All right, so just taking it in a moment, seeing that there's people coming to help. Hopefully, I will get. They're within 5 feet. The front guys within 5 feet of me.
I'll say between 5 and 10, yeah.
All right, so I'll move in so at 5 feet away, and I'll say, "You were in the inn, yes? You ever wondered how I learned to speak to animals?" And as I'm talking, I'm going to cast Primal Savagery and sort of become very feline. My teeth will grow longer, my nails sort of grow thicker, and I'll lunge forward at him and try to bite him.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and make your attack roll.
Sick.
I didn't know you could do
That is a 14.
Okay, so double check here. 14 is going to hit.
Oh, excellent.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
That is 5 points of acid damage.
Okay.
And I step back and I'm normal again.
Oh, okay. Now, just to make sure, when you say you step back, you're not leaving range, correct?
I'm not leaving range, I sort of lunge forward into his personal space and going.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely see that there's some blood starting to pour out. Definitely looks like you made an impact with that.
Alright, that's my turn. I'm staying where I am.
Okay, so that'll bring us over to Bitter Jack.
Okay, so she's had her hands kind of tucked as she made her approach here. And she just pulls out these two items from these leather holsters under her arms. One of them hangs at her side. The other, she kind of holds up next to her head and pulls a lever back with what I hope to be an extremely ominous click-clack. And I'm going to hold my action for the moment as she just calls out towards the three bandits and says, "Don't. It will not go well for you."
So go ahead and make a intimidation check.
Alrighty. That's a 14 plus... it's a 15.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
I should say the trigger for my held action is if they, like, definitely don't seem to be listening to me. I'm gonna set off my held action.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. Already then. That's not be interesting. Okay. So as you have your held action, yeah, that brings us over to them, who, one of them, the one with the crossbow in its hand, turns, looks over at the one in front that just got mauled by Furia, and looks at the other one to the far right that's sort of right beside him, just says, no, you don't pay me enough for this, and turns and runs and just dives into the water. As the one in front is just almost stunned by a second, turns back and looks at the other one and just says, "Boss?" And you hear the third one go, "Waste. We can deal with these." So is it, that would probably trigger your held action.
Yeah,
the one in
so
front pulls back with the scimitar and goes to start taking a swing.
So as soon as he starts to, like, lift his sword arm, gun, I've given it away now, boys. Still pointed in the air, she just pulls the trigger.
Alrighty then, roll a d20 for me.
18.
Okay.
She just squeezes and just, like, cow!
Nice.
Big, like, gust of smoke comes up in the air.
So go ahead and make one last intimidation check. Just to see is... But basically, we'll give advantage on the check, so it would have been...
Advantage? Okay, well, good, because the first one was a 9. 10.
It doesn't seem like the two of them are taking much, as this one is bringing the scimitar down at Furia, who is in front. And that is... I don't think that's going to do it. That's an 11, Furia.
No, I just sort of swish out of the way.
Okay. And as you do that, this one's looking at... Another one's looking at the group of you, is going to step up right beside you. And is going to start making his attacks. He's going to take 2 attacks against you, and then a 3rd attack is going against Lydia.
What?
So the first 2 coming at Furia. You have a 15 and a 21.
Oh, both will hit.
Okay. So let's see here. Okay, that is 8 damage on the first attack and 7 on the second, so a total of 15.
All right.
Are you looking there,
And
Lassie?
then
I'll be okay.
he sort of circles around behind you, so now you're in between him and the other one. So he can get a little bit closer to Furia and is going to take a swipe with his
Lydia.
dagger at Lydia. I mean, yeah. He's pinning in Furia and getting closer to Lydia.
Okay.
And that is a dirty 20 to hit Lydia.
Yep, that'll hit Lydia.
Okay, and that is only 4 points of piercing damage. That ends the 2 of them and brings us over to Lydia.
Lydia's gonna do what she said, and yeah, she's gonna cast Fog Cloud.
Okay.
Kind of closer to the boy.
So you're only probably about 10 feet away from the boy.
Okay, so I'll center on me and Furia and I'll cast Fog Cloud to obscure the area, because I don't want the boy to get hurt at all.
Oh, okay. So as you watch as Lydia starts, and what does this look like when you cast your incantation?
I sort of go like this with my hands, and all of a sudden, when I push my hands down, all this cloud starts coming up from the sea, around us, the floor and a little
okay,
from the ocean around me.
So as you're watching, those of you who are not right next to these individuals, there is now this massive, just 20-foot sphere of fog, heavily obscuring the area. You can sort of make out shadows within this fog cloud. And now, anything else you're doing?
Nope, that's my turn.
Okay, so that'll bring us over to Artemis.
Oh boy. So everything that I was going to is kind of in fog now.
Oops.
Yep.
That's my prerogative, guys.
Yeah.
I have pretty much use crowd control to mess things up.
Solana, is that you? No.
Boy, this seems real familiar, huh, guys?
It's like Groundhog's Day.
Yep, Solana doesn't know what to do with her powers. Again.
Art is just going to scuttle themselves a little bit closer to the sphere of fog and mist and such.
So where you guys were probably about 30 feet or 35 feet away, you could get probably, well, given your movement, you could probably get right outside the mist.
Yes, I sure can. Tiny legs. Yeah, I will... I have an idea, so I'll hold a message spell as soon
Okay.
as I can see any of the bandits that are close to Furia or Lydia.
Oh, okay. So you're holding a message until you can see them, because you can sort of see, you can see clouded shapes. So it's not like you can't see them at all. You're just not 100% sure who's who. You see 4 basically big shadowy blobs in this thing.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can roll a d4, and you can try sending it and see who it goes to. Or you can
No.
hold it until you see something.
No, I want to specifically target a mean person.
Okay. And that'll bring us over to Snow Moon.
Okay, so if I use all my movement to get right up against the mist, am I confident I can strike the right figure?
So the mist is a 20-foot circle. What's your full movement?
30.
30?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be in the mist, given that you guys are pretty sure that they were closer to them. I'll say go ahead and we'll call this a survival check.
Okay.
As you go, just heading into the mist.
Another 1.
Oh my god.
So what's your survival modifier?
I
Wisdom?
believe it's 0, but let me check. Yes, it's 0, so.
Oh, okay. So, let me give me a second here. Let's see. We'll do this.
Sarah, making battles harder.
Okay.
When game
So, you go charging in. You're in front of one of 3 shadowy clouds. You're pretty sure you didn't get twisted around. There's someone in front of you, though.
I don't want to hit. Okay. So up to this point, Snow Moon's been pretty stoic and pretty silent, but after seeing this, he kind of gets a fire in his eyes, and he unsheathes his greatsword, and you cowards, turning your weapons on children, and he swings his greatsword at this creature, at this figure in front of him.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
It's, a 9 to hit.
A 9 does not hit. As you swing down, and you can hear, and Lydia and Fira, both of you hear and see these light sparks on the ground as some sort of massive blade is just cleaved into the ground. Gives a little bit of light for a split second and then disappears.
He just, after he misses with the stroke, says, just come out of the mist and fight. Don't be such a coward.
I created this mist, so technically are you calling me a coward?
No.
That'll bring us over to Sweet William.
Okay.
So when William sees this fog cloud just appear and obscure his quarry, he's gonna shy and kind of shake his head a bit and reach in his pocket and open up a box that has hand-rolled cigarettes in it, pull it in his mouth, and kind of just walk forward, just slowly lighting it. And then he's gonna kneel down next to any boxes, close by the edge of the sphere. He's gonna cutting action hide and ready a crossbow bolt for the first bandit that pops up, all while just kind of aiming down the sights of his hand crossbow while smoking a cigarette.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check for me. Okay.
Make a badass check.
You guys hear accordion music? That's really weird.
Huh? Okay, and that will bring us over to Furia.
Alright, considering that she can't really see much anymore.
Yeah, now
And
you know that Lydia's somewhere behind you. And now there are 3 giant black blobs in front of you. There used to be only 2.
The fog.
And I just got hit pretty bad. I would like to cast Bark Skin on myself and then turn into a brown bear.
Alrighty then.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
And
So-
nobody really sees me do it.
It's as far as the bandits in Snow Moon are concerned, all of a sudden, one of the blobs almost doubles in size.
Would I see this?
Oh yes, you would too. That
Okay.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, out of the... so for you, Lydia, there were 4 blobs in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden one of them is twice as big.
Pahiria? I don't understand what's going on.
That's my turn. That's all I can do.
That'll bring us over to Bitter Jack.
All right. Well,
Drop the spell.
so I'm also gonna hold my action, and she's gonna yell out towards the other end of the dock. Bon sang, Lydia! The mist we cannot see. And she's just gonna level both firearms with a resounding double of the. Oh my god! What's the word I'm looking for? The hammer.
Hammer.
Pulls the hammer back on both of her firearms, and then she like looks back at where William's being really cool with his cigarette, and she's like, she gives him like a smirk, and then she reaches into her into her vest with one hand still holding the firearm, puts a cigarette of her own in her mouth, and like takes the still cherry hot pistol of her barrel of her fired gun and lights the cigarette with it, and then just looks back at him and like winks. Just goes back to standing like this.
Oh boy.
Okay, so that will bring us over to the bandits again. We're gonna see some. So same. Okay, so we're gonna see who they're gonna be swinging at. Alrighty then. So the first one is taking a swing back at the person who just ran up behind it. Has no idea who it is. So first one is coming your way, Snow Moon.
Okay.
And misses wildly. I don't even have to roll that at disadvantage because that was a net 1.
Ah.
Okay. The second one, though, well, depending on this, first, let's see what happens with this, because the way he rolled to see who he was targeting is mighty interesting. Okay, misses wildly with his first attack. And his second attack pulls out a dagger. And misses with every one of them.
Ah.
Bad day for bandits.
They can't see anything. Every one of them rolled below a 5 on the die at disadvantage. And that'll bring us over to Lydia.
Alright, I'm sorry. I was just trying to obscure the area for the child. And I'll drop concentration on the fog cloud. But I will take up my warhammer and try to strike one of the bed guys.
Okay. So let's see here. So let's see. Okay. So is it, you've got 2 in front of you. You've got the one right in front that you can see is sort of bleeding from a bite wound on the front of them. And then there's the one that looks to be a little, almost like a little sturdier built, has a scimitar in one hand and a dagger in the other.
Alright, I'll take a swipe at him.
Okay.
And I rolled a 17.
Okay, that'll hit. So go ahead and roll some damage. Okay. Which one are you firing at, Sweet William?
The one directly in front of Lydia.
Okay, so that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage. And then, Better Jack, yours goes off as well.
I'm shooting at the one that seemed like he was in charge.
Okay.
There is like a fraction of a second of a pause as she like blinks. She's like, "Oh, shit." And she looks at the friggin' bear, and then she pulls the trigger on both guns.
So that's a good point. You all see, I should have mentioned that. Everyone now sees a massive bear.
Did you eat Pahiria?
Okay, so Lydia, you rolled a 17. What was your damage?
6.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna bonus action,
Well, hold on. We'll jump back to you. Let me grab
Okay.
Matt's held action. So what were your
Okay.
attacks?
The main hand gun is a 19, and the offhand is a 15.
Both will hit.
Nice.
Okay.
So what's your damage?
I've never done damage with these weapons before. Damage type a D10. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I've never used a D10 before.
Huh.
It's this one, right? Yeah. All right. So the first. Oops. And the second. Okay. So the first shot does 9 damage,
Ooh.
and the second shot does 3.
Okay. Lydia, you being so up close and personal with this one right now can definitely see just as there's now crossbow bolts. You can hear these massive, what sound like small explosions coming from the distance in front of you.
Would I know what those were?
Probably not.
Okay.
But you can watch as something seems to be impacting the back of this guy in front of you, and he's now got blood just starting to pour out of his mouth. And
Bloody hell, are those cannons? Little cannons?
and that
And
little-
there's a bear! Spit out Pahiria!
and you said you wanted to, you had a bonus action you were.
I wanted to summon my spiritual weapon
Oh, okay.
and swing it at him.
Okay, and you can swing it on your first turn after summoning it?
Crap, it doesn't sing.
She can.
Okay,
I can't.
thank you.
16.
That'll hit. And what does your spiritual weapon look like?
It is another Warhammer.
Okay.
She's not too creative upstairs. Was it 8 plus 3 is 11?
Okay. This person is definitely not looking happy.
Okay.
And actually, I forgot. Artemis, you had a held action
I did.
as well for your
I
messaging.
just remembered as well.
Nice.
So there, you now see 2 bandits. There's one that everybody seems to be ignoring that is right in front of a bear.
There.
Okay.
And then there's the one that everyone seems to be picking on. Seems to be running
I
the
will-
show.
Target the one that is in front of the lovely bear,
Mm-hmm.
point at them, and use the message spell, and quietly, in their ears, "You shouldn't have messed with us."
Ooh. Creepy.
And that's
Oh,
it.
so Artemis is that kind of wizard. I see how.
And that's it. Then he kind of just like rubs his hands together.
Speaking of Artemis, it's now your go.
um.
So as you watch as it's that band just sort of
Let me see. I'll try doing a wizard. Magic missile? How do I do that? Do it just
so
roll
magic
my-
missile automatically hits.
Okay.
So you just roll your damage for the dice. So I believe at level 1 it's is it 2 darts or 3 darts?
3.
There you go. So you roll your damage. You roll your die for each dart.
+1.
Yeah, 1d4 plus 1.
1d4 +1.
Oh gosh.
1d4 plus 1.
Wizard spells that my Wizard on Friday did not
3
take.
times though?
Yes, because there are 3 darts at a level 1.
Oh my goodness.
So you could shoot all 3 darts at the same one, or you can shoot one at one, one at another, one at the bear. Nobody knows where the bear came from.
Stop
Bear.
eating Pahiria!
I want to take notes.
Furia.
Eat Pahiria.
6 seconds
So-
flat.
So,
bear.
what'd you say, Artemis?
Don't bears.
I want to take notes on the bear. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Well, who are you shooting at? You've got 2 targets. One, you said the one right in front of the bear, the same one you sent the message to, or are you going for the other one?
Yeah, the same one that I just whispered to.
Oh, okay. So as you watch as he's, And what do these darts look like as they leave your hand as you're casting this
Oh.
incantation?
Boy, I didn't even think about that. Flavor text. Since they haven't really had much experience with their magic abilities, probably just like there's like blobs of some sort right now.
So as those of you watch these small sort of shapeless blobs of sparkling arcane energy slam into the back of this individual, and Baria, as you're looking up at this snarling tongue sort of half lolling, this person just sort of collapses and falls, basically landing on your face and then rolling off to the ground from the force of these darts slamming into his back. Just knocked him into you, and he is now deceased. Anything else you're doing? Staying where you are? Moving closer?
Rejoicing?
Alrighty then. The gnome is now doing the happy dance, and that brings us to Snow Moon.
So yeah, he sees this leader get like blown away by these magic missiles, and
Well, that was not the
approach-
leader. That's the one that the bear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the first one. The leader, the one that
Is-
you've heard
okay.
talking, is
Yeah,
still standing.
still standing.
He's-
Okay.
So you're sort of, you're basically Lydia's directly in front of him. You're sort of off to the side a little bit to his left.
Okay.
You're within range if you want to attack. You can move if you want to. It's
All right. Yeah. So he sees the fog clear, and he can see this leader now, and he kind of laser focuses on that bandit, and he targets him with his great sword.
okay. Go ahead and make a swing.
A 10 to hit.
10 is not going to hit,
Oh,
unfortunately.
God. Not rolling.
Swap out
Oh,
that die.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. Put it in dice jail.
Anything else you're doing?
No, he just lets out a low grunt as he misses, Ugh. And stays right where he is.
So I'll bring us over to Sweet William.
So how many people are left?
There's a bear that appeared, and then there is one guy left, the same one that you and Jack have been sort of picking on.
Will's gonna look up at the bear and say, "Nice," and then shoot one of the other guys.
Okay.
Okay. So go
Très
ahead.
bon. I know a little bit of French. I can just pretend I speak
Okay,
the
so
language.
as that bolt sinks in, this guy is still on his feet at the moment.
I stub out my cigarette and then hide again.
Okay. And that will bring us over to the bear. The bear.
Go up there.
The bear is going to bite and claw at the last remaining guy, if there's
okay.
room.
That is it. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze. You could sort of push your way in between, like Snow Moon and Lydia, to at least reach in and get to him.
Bite is 15 to hit.
And that'll hit.
Sorry, guys, I've never been a bear before. That is
Yeah, we're all doing
10
something
piercing
new.
damage.
No.
How do you want to do this?
I'm just going in for the meat between the neck and the shoulder.
Oh,
Nice.
no.
Shaking him about a bit, sitting on him when I'm done.
As the group of you watch as this bear just leans forward and just grabs right into the shoulder and clavicle and just picks this person up and just drops it to the ground as you watch, takes a couple of steps forward and looks down sort of between its legs and just plops down sitting on it.
Is it as if the bear had sat on a gusher? and he's like,
Eee.
You're really not sure is the bear is sort of sat on the torso and head. So anything that would have burst out of the wound is probably all on the backside of the bear right now.
oh,
Gross.
toothpaste tube, gross.
No one needs prestidigitation. But
Devonay?
here ya. Oh yeah.
My God.
What's that?
Oh my God, it's really...
Already. Going back into old habits all
This one was by choice, though.
You say that now.
Yeah.
Furia, is that you?
You see the bear nodding.
Okay. Interesting.
Right, Jack was like very carefully forward until she saw the exchange, and then she's still like real concerned about Bear, but she like uncocks both guns, puts them away, and she immediately is going to give the one that's not being sat upon by a bear a very quick pat down, and while like looking up and down the dock, and then push him into the water.
I will go to the boy and make sure he's okay.
Oh my God, he got hit with all the toothpaste guts that shot out of the back of the bear. Oh no.
So as basically as you're rolling the body, you find let's see what did this one have on it. There's a scimitar laying on the ground. You find a coin purse. It's got a 23 copper, 2 silver, and 2 gold. Looks like he had a couple of crossbow bolts and a small holder on his hip, but didn't have a crossbow.
Bear is
Okay.
watching you carefully as you.
Yeah,
move
I'll
by.
grab the coin purse, and she just, without really looking up from him, she just like quickly raises it up over her head to show everybody that she's grabbed it, and then puts it, just like tucks it into her belt for safekeeping for the moment. She's not going to take any of the other stuff. She's just going to.
And you do find a decent set of leather armor on the body.
Yeah, she's not really like she's not really asking anybody else their opinions. She pretty much immediately just rolls the corpse off the dock into the water, kicks the sword after it. She will like hold the crossbow bolts up in William's direction with like a question on her face.
And William will step forward. Are they light crossbow bolts or hand crossbow bolts?
I don't know. I marked down bolts. I didn't know there was a difference.
I mean, there might not be, but
I'll say for ease, because DM didn't know. Sure, you use a hand crossbow, right? Or you use a light crossbow?
yes, I use a hand.
They'll work for yours. We'll call them hand crossbow bolts, in case there is a difference.
Ah, good score. And I take the little case of bolts,
There,
rattle them around, and put them in my pocket.
pop it open. There's six additional bolts in there.
I
Doesn't
get
look
it
like he was
off the
packing
other
a whole
body.
And as you get up is as you start getting up, I'll let you run over to check on the boy, and there is some little bit of gore near. It didn't get on the actual child, but you can see he's a little shaken. He's looking around. What was all that? What are you people doing?
It was a misunderstanding, you see. Nothing you should worry about. You'll still get your 2 silver at the end of the day. Did you find a fish, my lad?
As you look at him, the fishing pole's gone. You don't know if he dropped it or what. He's standing there, no pole in his hand. He's just got a couple of fish. A misunderstanding.
Oh, you lost your livelihood. Who there? I probably owe you more than
He's dead. She just threw that guy in the water.
He's also in the process of throwing the other guy in the water, I'd like to point out.
Are you checking the other one first?
Yeah, she'll give him a quick pat down too, but she's like destroying evidence and getting rid of out of here.
They were bad guys, you see. They wanted to hurt us.
Then why are they the ones who got hurt? Does that make you the bad guy?
No, we were just protecting ourselves and you, lad. Don't worry.
They drew their weapons on us without provocation. We had no choice but to put them down.
Furia will pop out of bear form all of in like 2 seconds and say, I didn't even draw a weapon.
No, the point.
He's sort of looking between the group, but doesn't seem to have any clue what the hell Snow Moon just said to him. Doesn't recognize the word. And looking at Furia is you were the bear?
Yeah, I was a bear.
I
can do that.
To death.
I didn't eat
You
him. That's
put him in your
gross.
mouth and he died.
Calm emotions.
Yeah, there was teeth. You know when you bite somebody. Never mind. How much is a new fishing pole?
Alternately. Okay. Calm emotions is being... I calm his emotions.
As you watch as Lydia's casting this on him, Jack, you find in the next guy's, as you're checking him out, has a dagger, has another scimitar, does have a coin purse, has 14 gold, 3 silver, no copper.
Okay. She takes the purse, repeat gesture. She shows everybody. The rest of it, she kicks off the dock into the water, along with the body.
Calm emotion.
Okay, and as
Sorry. Art's gonna scurry up to the edge of the dock where it said
that's only a minute.
Disposed of.
Oh.
And just kind of like look and lean over. And just kind of keep watching.
As there are just 2 bodies sort of floating in the water right now.
Uh-oh.
They got punctured a bunch by our fight, right? They should fill up with water and sink.
You think it'll take a little bit of time, though.
Should have put rocks on.
Jack knows a lot about this.
Okay, so basically, everybody needs to make a charisma saving throw, as you all feel this sort of divine energy pulse out from Lydia, and it feels like it's trying to relax you. You can, should you choose to, deliberately fail this.
What is the effect if you're like not particularly
if you're dead inside?
Yeah, what if you're dead inside?
It only suppresses strong emotion, so if you don't have a strong emotion present, it's save or fail. It sort of washes over you.
Yeah, I rolled a 14, but it kind of he's pretty like even-keeled and stoic, so it doesn't even really...
It's, at this level, a 14 would probably make the save anyway.
Yeah, my DC
I
is
got
14.
a 17.
Okay.
So you guys are all fine. I gotta make one for the child.
Hopefully the child fails.
He fails with a 6.
Oh, good.
As you watch, is he?
I'm gonna say, what's your name? What's your name, little boy?
My name's Pip.
Pip?
Yes, Pip.
You jerk. Pip, Pip, why don't you, take some money and go home. Run home.
Okay.
Take your fish, too.
And your fish. And I will give him, a gold and the 2 silver, so he can buy himself a new fishing pole, press it into his hand, and he say, run, like a good little lad.
Okay, he stands up, looks at you, sort of, almost, again, sort of like vacant eyes almost, just emotionless.
Yeah, I want him to run as far away as he can before he decides to freak out again.
Picks up the basically the spear of the 4 or 5 fish on it, and takes off running into town.
All right, we should probably leave this area, this dock, and I'm going to cast my Furball magic and look like a wood elf too.
Hold on.
Now, what
As the
what spell is that?
It's just Furball magic. I can
verbal
do this.
racial ability.
It's a racial ability.
Oh.
I can disguise self and seem up to 3 feet shorter.
All right, that's what I was looking for. Because all of a sudden you have like a 7'2" wood elf walking around like Frankenstein's elf.
No.
Okay.
As the little boy like runs away and like the confrontation passes, there's like a distinctive click, and Jack's just like putting one of the guns back in the holsters.
So I'll look at Snow Moon, William, Jack, or whoever's closest, and ask them, so do you think people are going after the other half of the map?
Oh yes, oui. Mon Dieu, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we should stop by the boat or try to find that captain?
Yes,
Yeah,
we should
well,
try to find
There are
Captain
others
Berkman as
who
soon as
followed
possible.
from the bar. We should go now.
Lydia, you know where you parked?
Of course.
That's a cute term.
Okay, so it is easy enough for Lydia to lead the group. Well, assuming Lydia, are you leading them back?
Yes.
Okay, easy enough for you to lead back. It's only your boat was perched on the far other end of the dock.
Okay.
So it's probably got about a 15-20 minute walk to get from where you guys are now at the far southern end to get up to the northern side where you guys made your berth.
Okay.
As y'all are starting to move, again, staying mostly on the dock, go ahead, everyone, and make a perception check as you start to make your way away from this area.
Oh hell yeah, 3. 6.
16.
Dirty 20.
Ugh, 4. My gosh.
What are we rolling?
Perception?
Maddie, you need new dice.
I switched up once already.
Oh my god.
20,
Still no luck.
22.
Okay.
Swapping out my
So-
D20.
As you guys start walking away, and again, as you turn around and look, the body's sort of being pushed right up against and sort of under the dock a little, so they're a little hidden out of the way. People won't really notice. As you make your way away and turn around, you do just see a large, just blood stain on the ground. As from where the people had been slain. As you're making your way away, Lydia and Fury are the only ones who hear the loud hissing of a whistle. And then some shouting off in the distance. Can't really make out what's being said.
I don't like that though.
But you hear a whistle, then some shouting, and then another whistle a couple seconds later.
Oh, we should probably head towards the boat a little faster.
I agree with that sentiment.
A lot faster.
So as the group continues on the way,
If anybody starts to like break out into a run, Jack is gonna be like, "We did nothing wrong. Walk."
Lydia, would you be trying to get people to basically run, or
I'd be power walking.
Boys, slow down! Short legs!
I'm an elf too, you know.
So how does her furball illusion work? Because she's still got furball-sized legs. Is she like a wood elf that is like a poorly clipped video game character where like her legs are moving at one point, but the character model is like
Yeah,
Technically, as a wood elf, I can walk faster than a furbolg, so I don't know how
Right.
that works.
yeah, but in terms of the image, the way it's looking, you're moving at furball pace,
It's
but
only
your
30.
illusion is showing the wood elf speed.
You're just
Oh, that's
kind of
weird.
sliding.
So you're basically, it's like Matt mentioned, it's sort of like a somewhat poorly clipped video game.
Oh,
Which is every once in a while, like you take a step and then all of a sudden it's like a stutter step almost.
great.
Which, given this cobblestone area you're on, it's not difficult terrain, but you might be tripping.
Okay. I triple up. That's fine.
Lydia be tripping. As you start to get towards the ship, and what is everyone's passive perception?
15.
15.
12.
I have to check.
Okay.
13.
12.
Okay, so let me just. Where'd my red die go? Oh, man,
Sorry, you
where's
said
the die?
passive
Oh, there.
perception?
Yes.
Yeah, passive.
13.
Okay. Wait, then let me check something here. Where? Really? There we are. Sorry, viewers at home, just gotta check something here. Okay. So, anyone with a passive perception of 15 or higher sees, as you start, Lydia, and this is as you're pointing out to the group, somewhat quietly, dock up here, off this way. Anyone with a 15 or higher notices that there are 5 goblins
Oh,
sort of poached around, sitting behind barrels and crates. One of them sort of climbed up into some netting that's leading up towards the ship. Anyone with a 12 or higher passive perception sees the 2 that are up sort of in the netting and the rigging for the trying to get up onto the ship.
I immediately halt everyone and say, "You see those goblins? I think they're going after the captain."
Oh, they're waiting for us. I see them too.
Yes, I see the 2 up in the netting
There's one
above
over
us.
there behind a barrel,
Oh,
and there's one over there too.
There's 5 total. I think that we should be careful. Sweet William, was it?
Yes.
Can you, like-
That's me.
Bonjour. Can you, kind of snipe some of them down? You and your, ton
Comme
frère.
mon dieu.
I'm sorry, not ton frère,
Je suis de l'Iran.
I forget all my French.
I didn't have any to
Hard to
begin
say
with.
sister.
This is fantasy world.
It sounds so much better in French.
Yeah. I forget how to say sister. I know how to say brother.
Oui, my dear. Yes. There'll be much time to speak later. I would like to get on top of that rigging sneakily.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Can I try to aid William by moving a few feet away from the group, and as he kind of peels off one way to start his climb, she'll sort of same moves before. She pulls out the guns and ominously cocks one of them to draw their attention to give him advantage.
Sure, I'll say why not. Let's see what their passives are. Okay. Yeah, so it seems to work. Sweetwilliam, you are managing to sort of make your way up this almost looks like a cargo or fishing net that was hanging off of the front side of the ship down towards these crates. You're able to make your way over to it. Start climbing it. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Can I roll acrobatics instead?
Sure. Given its actual netting, I'll say sure. Okay. So you're able to start making your way up it. You're doing pretty good. You're probably about 15, 20 feet from the first one. Don't seem to have noticed you as of yet. They seem to be focused on getting up to the ship.
Okay. So I wanna kind of beeline one who might be lagging a bit behind.
Okay. Easy enough to catch up to him.
Okay. And how far away is he from the others?
He's probably about 10, maybe 12 feet behind the only other one that's on this rigging.
Okay. So from behind, I'm gonna poke him in the behind with my rapier.
Alrighty then. So that is... I don't even need to pull him up. That's definitely going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage, though.
And if there's no one else within 5 feet of him, I get sneak attack.
Okay, let's see here. Alrighty then. And as you drive your rapier into the back of this individual, it lets out the sort of and actually starts to fall off the rigging dead. And with that, I need everyone to go ahead and roll initiative again for me.
Drat.
Oh, that'll do. It's a lot better than before.
Okay, what you got, Jack?
22.
Noise.
Ooh.
Okay.
12 for Fury.
Okay.
Switch my
Lydia?
dice. This is my DM dice.
17 for Lydia.
Jesus. Okay, Artemis?
16.
Okay, Snowmoon?
12.
And Sweet
Yeah!
William?
Roll above a 5!
21.
Digits. Woo! Rarefied air up here.
You said 21?
21 for Sweet William.
Okay. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna steal a line from Michael. Make life easy. Okay. Okay, so we gotta go. Okay. So, first one is... Ooh. Okay. The second one...
I love that it says boss and mini boss on the initiative check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just... You won't have everyone on every fight, but...
Oh,
Figure where I'm not using tokens and rolling through Roll20. Rather than having to add random things on there, I'm just going to leave them sitting there. Okay, so that is... Okay. Now we gotta switch Lydia and Boss. Okay. And that, my friends, will bring us to the top of the order with Bitter Jack, who has 2 weapons cocked and ready to go.
Okay, so lay this out for me again. There is one more goblin.
So you
on
have
rigging.
one more goblin on the rigging climbing up towards the ship, about maybe 7 to 12 feet in front of Sweet William. Down on the ground from where you are, so you backed away from the group a little bit so that Sweet William could start going up the rigging. On the dock that runs basically to the right of the group and down along the side of the ship, there are 2 goblins on the left-hand side, sort of ducked down behind a couple of crates and barrels, which you can see. And there is one from your position that you know where it is on the right side, but you don't have perfect line of sight. They've got a partial cover from you, just from the angle because of where you moved over to.
Okay. Am I within 25 feet of any of them?
Oh yeah, I'd say you're definitely within 25 feet of the 2 on the ground right in front of you. The one that's up on the rigging, you'd probably have to get a little closer.
Okay. My brother can take care of the climber himself. I'm going to... those whistles still going off in the distance?
You don't... well, you didn't hear them in the first place. Only
Did
Lydia
they
and...
point them out to us when they were like, we need to run?
Did you guys point out why you wanted to run?
Fear is just going along.
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Oh, so you
Okay,
don't know
then
anything
if
about the whistles.
Jack does not have that information, then she will not act as if she had that information. So she is going to fire off her weapons.
Okay.
I will take. William can handle the one on the rigging, so I'll take a shot at the. I'll move whatever way I need to move myself to clear my line of sight on the ones near the barrels.
Well, the 2 of them you have clear line of sight on. It's that solo one that's closer to the rest of the group that you have.
Okay,
So
well
the
then
2 you've got
the two
there,
that I
they
have
just haven't...
clear line of sight.
Yeah,
I'll take a
you've
shot
got-
at those.
Oh yeah, you can definitely take a shot at them.
What happened to my DM dice? It rolls better. No! Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay.
I sent Sarah to your house, you stole it.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that.
All right, so I will fire my main hand pistol at one of them. That is a 20 to hit.
Yep.
And so
So go ahead and roll your
D10
damage on
plus
that.
3. Oh, max damage, 13 damage.
Nice.
As you hit the first one, and it just literally, as it slams into it, just collapses and just sort of rolls, hanging partway off the dock already.
Okay. Then with my my bonus action, my second my offhand weapon, she'll level that one at the other one and pull the trigger on that one as well. Not great. That's an 8.
No, that is not. As you blow the first one down, the other one turns real quick and looks, and as the second shot goes off, it just shatters a hole in the crate right next to its head. And
And then as it kind of turns, Jack just sort of like winks at him.
okay, and that will bring us over to them. Who, seeing that you have just murdered its friend, this thing is going to come charging at you with its short sword out, and is going to try to slash or drive it into Jack. And that's a nat 20.
Oh boy!
Oh no.
So that is definitely going to hit. Let's see here. That is 2d6. Okay, that could have been a whole lot worse. That's a total of 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Rolled a 6 and a 1. And then... Okay, and that is going to end its go. Okay, so... Then we have the one that is up top, that is looked back and can see Sweet William climbing up after it, is going to... I really can't do that very well with its... so it's just going to keep climbing. It's going to use its action to... actually, can this... Yeah, so it's just going to move and then action dash and keep climbing to get up. And you watch as at the very end it just sort of climbs up and over the rigging onto the deck. And then we have 2 over here. So let's see here. There are 4 of you that are over in this section. So we will let fate decide who... Alrighty then. So, Snow Moon, you have 2 attacks coming your way. And one of them is going to have advantage, as you guys did not see that person.
Okay.
And that doesn't matter, because that's a 10, even with advantage. And then the other one... that's probably going to hit. That's a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
So that is 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And that will end their go. As now the 2 that basically now that what you can see, there are 2 on the well, now 1 on the left side, the other one disappeared over the rigging, and there are now 2 on the right-hand side, one of which you hadn't noticed before.
So we're on the dock. There's a boat next to it. One went up the
So
rigging.
let me do this. So what we'll do is we'll just grab draw shape, you'll work. Okay, give me a second, viewers at home. We are going to grab this. And then, and actually, okay, so main dock here. You know what I just completely realized because I've been jumping around screens. Okay, give me a second. This is last call for everybody for our raffle. If you haven't put it in yet, Flying Pelican. The entry name is Pelican. You can see how to spell it right underneath me on the thing. Pelicane. If you're interested, we're giving away a D&D Essentials kit tonight. I'm going to close out the raffle in the next 2 minutes. So give me a second here so I can just drag my players over to a quick scene to give them an idea here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're seeing, and again, this is real, just sort of dirty and quick. You have one of them right down here. You have 2 others that you now see that are over here. And there's one other that disappeared. I'm just throwing him out here because he's up and onto the ship at this point.
Okay.
And that'll bring us over to Sweet William.
So the goblin that is on the rigging, what is he doing again?
He's the one who climbed up and he's now on the deck. You can't see him any further.
He's on the deck. Okay, I'm gonna follow him up
Okay, so
to the deck.
yeah, so you would need, it would take your full movement to get up and onto the deck.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so you climb up, you're on the deck, and you can see he is about 15-20 feet heading down the deck towards a set of doors on the far side.
Okay, then I cunning action dash.
Okay. You can catch
up
right
to
behind
him. I'm right behind him, and I say, "Bonjour," and rapier him in the neck.
Okay, and that'll hit.
And if no one's within 5 feet of either of us, I have sneak
he
attack.
falls and collapses dead.
Ha! That was easy.
Très facile. Trips.
And I look over the deck and kind of like wave at my sister.
So,
She's like rolls her eyes.
Okay,
Thumbs up.
Go off.
alright.
and that'll bring us over to Lydia.
Which side are we on? This side or?
So you guys are. I'm drawing some more. You guys are currently over here.
Okay.
Why am I purple? Hi, Christy.
Because you're-
I don't think
Yeah,
you talked about
Christy.
hi. So
I'll
you
go
guys
to
are right
this
over
first
here near
one.
these guys. Jack is like right over somewhere in this general area on the other side, and again
Okay.
deliberately tried to draw a little attention. And William is now up on the ship, waving down at you.
Alright, I'll go up to the first guy there, and I'll
Okay.
try to hit him with my warhammer.
Okay. Hit it with my
16.
warhammer. He's at 16. That's gonna hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Ooh, 10.
Just
Okay.
Goblin no more.
wrong. And I will stand there.
I guess technically this one is like right up in front of Jack as it tried to attack him.
Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's my turn.
That is going to bring us to this one, who y'all didn't see.
Oh, great.
So, okay,
I love it when the GM says it.
let's see here. We've still got actually he got a line on everybody, so we're just going to roll a single d6, see where this is going. Okay, line of sight on everybody. Sorry, Artemis. Dice want something coming your direction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What
that
did I-
is a 19 to hit.
Yes.
As from somewhere down the far end of the dock that your ship is currently berthed next to. So coming from way down up here somewhere,
Okay.
an arrow comes flying out and buries itself into Artemis. You take that is 3 points of piercing damage from the shaft of this arrow.
Okay. Well,
That has just flown down, and
Nothing,
now you
but-
can see
okay.
what appears to be a hobgoblin,
Old ring.
about 100 feet or so away down the dock from you. That brings us to Artemis.
That's good. Okay. So the two goblins, you said that one is up above and one is not?
Nope, so now there are two in front of you on the dock. One standing a couple feet from Lydia, one standing right next to Jack, and then a hobgoblin way down in the distance, about 100 feet away.
Oh, boy. Let's see.
Can we see the hobgoblin?
I'll say yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it just
Okay.
basically took a shot out of its hiding spot and nailed
Okay.
Artemis, so...
So now we can see the hobgoblin.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I just don't have a handy hobgoblin token.
Gotcha.
What do I have that can
Man.
serve as a hobgoblin stand-in?
I don't know. I'm gonna just try a couple, well, not couple, one. Poke with a dagger, because I actually have one of those kicking around.
Oh, okay. You know, we'll use our hobgoblin standing down there at the end. We will toss a crab.
A crab?
Artemis casts stab.
Crab stab.
What do we got?
12?
Okay, let's see here. As it seems to, as you turn to do it, it just manages to pull its blade up and knock your dagger to the side.
Oh, drat. Not much else I can do right now.
Okay, so that'll bring us over to Snow Moon.
Okay, so I'm standing like next to Lydia.
Yeah, so
Where,
you're within just a couple of feet. If you move, 5-7 feet, you'll be right within range of this thing.
Okay. Alright, so first he's going to use bonus action Second Wind. So I'm going to get a 1d10 plus my fighter level, temporary hit points.
Well, Second Wind will heal you. It's not temporary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm still going to use it.
Okay.
So that's going to be 5.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm going to, standing right where he is, I'm going to target the one that I'm closest to with, let's see. I'm going to target it with Breath Weapon. So that's a DC 12 Dex save.
Oh, okay. Let's see, what is our dexterity here? Okay. They are pretty dexterous. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that is a dirty 20.
Okay, so it, I believe it still takes half.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your
On the
damage. And while you are rolling that up, I am going to, real quick, draw our giveaway.
Yay!
Give away.
Go ahead, what's your damage?
9.
Alrighty then. So as this goblin, and what sort of...
So that's
9 what?
acid damage.
Okay, so as Lydia, this, as you are probably the closest one to us with Artemis right beside you, as Snowman just lets out this bellowing, almost like a belch of this noxious green liquid comes just pouring out of his mouth as this goblin starts to scream and dissolve in front of you.
Ooh.
As he is gone. And the last thing he screams is, Sensible Boots wins!
You got Sensible Boots!
So, Sensible Boots,
Congrats.
thank you very much for hanging out with us, and you have won our giveaway. Make
What
sure
a
you
strange thing for a goblin to have yelled. I don't
make
understand.
sure you send an email over to proficiencybonus@gmail.com so we can get that sent out to you. Okay. And are you saying where you are, or?
Let's see. Actually, I am going to use Action Surge so I can get one additional action on top of my...
Is Action Surge a bonus action to activate, or no? I can't remember.
No, it's not. I can get one additional action on top of my action and bonus.
Okay.
And I will approach the other goblin in front of me, and I will draw my greatsword and strike.
Okay. Take a swing. Let's see what happens.
All right. 21.
Okay, that'll hit.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll some damage.
That'll be 6 damage. Slashing.
That is enough. You carve it,
All
and
right.
this one falls and collapses to the ground. So I think that ties up just about everything you can do. You guys are down. There's only that one hobgoblin left at the end of the dock
Okay.
that you're aware of.
Okay.
And that will bring us over to Furia then.
So remind me, it's been a while since the top of the order. Did Jack fire his loud cannon guns.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so looking at the
Jacksonville.
lack of enemies around her, she's, well, we're being rather noisy. Are the whistles going to find us here too?
Are the whistles getting closer? You mean?
Go
No,
ahead.
are the whistles going to find us here too?
Oh.
She doesn't know if they're louder.
Go ahead and where it's your go, so make a free perception check. As you take a couple of quick seconds as you're looking around and thinking.
19.
Currently, you don't hear them at the moment.
Good.
I don't hear whistles. I don't really understand whistles, but I think they might be bad. And I think they might be noticing
don't
what we
understand
did at
whistles,
the
Wes.
other dock. What are whistles? I mean, I know they
This
whistle.
is not the time for this.
You've got a couple of seconds left. Any action you're doing, or just...
She also looks up at Lydia and down at Artemis. And it's like,
No, I'm your husband.
that's an odd target to pick for an arrow. And she'll shoot her own arrow back at the creature at the end of the dock there.
Okay, fire away.
That's an 8.
As just sails wide.
Lost
And
it.
you can hear it hit the water in the background. Okay, so that'll bring us back up to the top of the order with Bitter Jack.
Okay, so based on where I think I was, where that goblin got greatsword murdered a second ago, I'm gonna use my movement to move towards the hobgoblin out onto the dock, but I think I can only get like a quarter of the way to him.
Yeah, because from where you described that you were sort of stepping away from that area, you would have
Yeah, I
been
figure
about
I'm
10
like
feet
kind of
away
around
from
the corner.
Yeah, so it would take you about 10 feet to get onto the dock that the hobgoblin's on. So you'd have your movement minus 10 feet left at that point. It's probably, like 20 feet?
I think my movement's 25 because I'm a halfling.
Oh, that's right.
I
So
figure
yeah,
I
you'd
can
have
get,
about
like,
15 left.
feet onto the dock, which is fine.
Yeah, so you're about 80 to 85 feet away from the hobgoblin.
Okay. So she'll kind of walk onto the dock there, and I'm gonna do the same as before. I'm gonna hold my action and try to intimidate him into surrendering.
Oh, okay.
So she just steps onto the out onto this dock out in front of him and just like both pistols. It's not pointing them at him yet, but they're like up next to her. Probably still like the smoke from the last shot is like she like walked out of it as she approached him. And she'll just call down to the end of the dock towards him. It would be better to... Shit. William, je ne sais...
Surrender. The word you're looking for is surrender.
Oui. Merci. Surrender!
3M.
Okay, go ahead and make a, we'll say either intimidation or persuasion, whichever you prefer. Assuming intimidations probably would be better.
I think, yeah, I don't know what's better, but I can't see how that's any... Okay, that's an 18
Okay.
plus 1, a 19.
Nice.
Let's see here. We'll find out what happens when he's alive on his go.
Alright, so yeah, my held action is same as before. If he like, she's gonna unload.
Oh, okay. So we have no minions left. That brings us up to Sweet William. You can hear your sister calling out to this remaining person trying to convince it to surrender.
All right, so up on the deck, I'm gonna hear this, and I'm gonna get down on my knees, and I'm gonna try and stealth over as best as I can. And I'm gonna hold my hand crossbow for when things inevitably go sour. And
Okay.
yeah,
And that brings us to Lydia.
I'm gonna move and then use my action to dash somewhere in his vicinity, like there.
Okay, we won't be able to get all the way to him, as again, the drawing's not to scale, I just did it real quick.
Oh,
to have
okay.
it. He's about,
Okay.
the dock's about 100 feet from where you are. So
Okay,
if you
so I'll
dashed,
get
you can
about
probably get
halfway?
about a little more than halfway towards him.
Okay, I'll go like around here then.
Oh, okay.
All right. And I say you better listen to my friend. He's very convincing if you. Oh, she's very convincing if you listen to her.
Merci.
Dorian.
Okay, and that will bring us to the Hobgoblins Go. And as the three of you being the ones closest currently in watching, you see is this person again, he's where he is down at the end of the dock, he's sort of behind a couple of like crates and barrels. So you could duck down and get some pretty good cover. You watch as he ducks down a little, and then a long sword comes flying over the crate,
Ooh.
followed by a longbow. And then very slowly, two hands peek out over the top. Here. Hey, now! Now where is it?
Were you sent by someone?
And with that, you are all out of initiative.
I mean, okay.
Hey.
As he rolled to see what he thought Jack would do if he didn't listen. He didn't like what he thought.
Were you sent by anyone?
As he
I'm gonna take
looks,
this opportunity to reload my weapons.
I would like to loot the bodies at the where I am.
okay. Easy enough to start going through them. As you start going through and picking stuff out, the Hobgoblin looks at you, Lydia, and says, "Captain sent. Said if we got this half the map, make good coin selling it back to you."
The captain?
Yes.
Captain Breslin.
Who?
The female human captain. No?
He sort of conks handling you. Looks down. Why would you pay me to steal from her? Stupid elf.
Okay, I immediately turn into a 7'2" Furbolg, and I say that to me again.
Stupid
Square.
cow. Moo.
Whoa!
I'm gonna punch him in the face with just a strength, just to punch him.
Go ahead and roll a strength attack. See if you hit.
19.
And he says that you just boom. Little blood starts pouring out his nose.
So which
Fair
captain
enough.
paid you?
My captain.
What's your captain's name? Do you want me to punch you again?
Yes, please.
If I tell you, he kill me.
And
You don't tell
Snowmoon
me.
has approached us at this point with his hand on his sword.
William is on Lydia and the like whoever's boat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so as this is like going on, Jack just is gonna turn to where he is up on the deck there, and she calls out to him and says, "Frère, est le capitaine là? Hmm?" She asks him in their gnomish dialect, she says, "Brother, is the captain up there?"
Où est-ce que le capitaine? The Capitan is spicy.
Just
It's gonna be so
just
hard to be able to stop using French.
William is gonna back up a little bit, and so am I close to like the captain's quarters on the ship at all?
So
How
where
far
you
away
are,
am I from-
where you moved up? Let me look at my ship. Okay, so from where you came, you're probably about 50, maybe 50 feet from the door that you would assume, given the standard layout, would be the captain's quarters.
Okay, so I'm gonna make my way over to the door and knock on it.
A compliment. What now?
Hello, room service. We all alive in there?
That's, I know that voice. Just over. Opens the door up, looks down at you. Your quarters are downstairs. These are mine.
Ah, oui. Bon monsieur. And I wave bye, and just and then walk away.
Muttering, closes the door and goes back.
I walk back to where I was overhead of the goblin boss, and I'm gonna cock my handgun down at him. She is safe.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
No, she. And Josh is kind of like, I deal with a problem, eh? When problem is no problem anymore, I no make decision. Eh, Capitan. Feh. And she just walks away from this.
She wants to know who is our captain.
Captain
Well,
Broslin's our captain. Do you want to go get Captain Broslin? Is that what you want, Jack?
Fine.
See, is she points at the. How is it? Is no my problem, eh?
Oh, all right.
It's captain problem.
William
Captain.
will go back and try and get the captain to come back. I'm already on the ship.
Tell her Lydia sent you.
Once more.
Tell him shitty goblin try to steal his ship.
That too. It's very important.
Hello, Captain. We have situation here on the docks.
And once more, door cracks open. What now? Huh?
You might want to come and see this. Get dressed. Me?
Reaches over. Picks up this rather large-looking two-handed maul. Just throws it on her shoulder. I'm good. Let's go.
That's why I like her. Captain Broslin and I get along very well.
She follows the... Are you leading her all the way down or just to the plank leading down?
I lead her far enough to see the goblin, and I point at him. And I tell her about the goblins attempting to steal her map and quite possibly her ship.
She looks down at the body on the ground. Picks up the maul and just boom right on the head of the corpse on the ground.
Oh, oui, he is dead. Congratulations.
You said that. Oh, look, you got a live one. What? Why do we have a live one?
Hi, Captain.
Oh,
How you doing?
What, are we keeping pets now?
And this hobgoblin said that if he stole the map They could sell it back to us, but he won't tell us the name of his captain.
The captain looks over at you, William, being closest to her. I suppose it's time to put you to work. Shoot the stupid thing.
The sounds of gunfire are starting before she finishes the sentence.
Okay.
Bang, 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 bang!
All right, not that it's gonna matter with wage roll, but go ahead and roll your damage, roll your attack for me.
Alrighty. So I'll
The
just roll
siblings may have just annihilated this thing between.
That's a, let's see, 17, 22, and a 16?
The 16 won't. The 22 will.
17, sorry. I can't math.
Oh, okay.
Makes
It's
it
still low because of the armor
Okay.
this guy's got on, but go ahead and roll your damage. The first one definitely hits.
Alrighty. 13 damage.
Nice.
And I'm gonna action surge and I'm gonna shoot him again.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a 14. That's a 19.
That'll hit.
Nice.
And that is 12 damage.
As you watch as an arrow comes flying out of Sweet William's hand crossbow and buries itself right into the neck underneath the ear. As all of a sudden you can hear the rapid fire boom, boom, boom coming from the other end of the dock as this hobgoblin is just obliterated. And he's just laying in a
Luffy,
pool
what is for dinner?
on the ground. And as the captain looks over at Sweet William with a curt nod, but is just like, a short approval nod, I should say. But then immediately turns and more pointedly looks down at the far end of the dock and Jack. And that's where we'll call an end to tonight's session, as it is already 11:20. As we have made it through our first session of our new campaign, folks.
Yay,
Our party
Yahoo!
has apparently found a map that it seems like others are very interested in. Could it be that this captain is the first to have noticed these islands or charted them? We'll have to see what happens next time. We will be back next week. Another call out to Sensible Boots for winning our raffle tonight. Thank you very much for hanging out with us all night. Don't forget to send your information over to us at our email address, proficiencybonus@gmail.com, so we can get that sent over to you. And then
Nat
we
20?
will see. Oh yes, that's got to keep our old thing going, and that is
the
our
first
Nat 20
of the
from next year.
campaign.
Yeah. So where are we sending that initial Nat 20 for, folks?
I have a
I don't
vote.
know.
I have a vote for the DM.
Yeah!
Beria.
That was pretty good.
But also because he wrote a new campaigin.
Yeah, he did right.
He should get a golden D20. I don't know. Use it to do something horrible to us.
He will.
Oh, it's if you guys want to do it that way, we will. It will be used if it is given, though.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
ya.
I'm good with that.
I'm fine with it.
Go for it.
Okay. Then
Do
the
it before
party
we
has
get really
spoken.
attached to the characters.
Hard cut.
Yep.
Golden D20 kills one of the party in the second episode.
Probably. We need to rest.
Okay,
Probably.
so with that, we will take this D20 and put that floating right next to my head.
Yeah.
As that's weird. I gotta remember which way to look. 'Cause it's like right next to me somewhere. But with that, we will take our leave for this evening and find out what happens next time. So don't forget, folks, when a strange overly physical human female ship captain comes running in and starts barking orders. You may want to ask what you're drinking before you chug it down, as you don't know what the activation time is in whatever drink she gave you.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
Oh,
It's called
crap,
Insight
William at
check,
3.
folks. And
This
don't
guy
forget to add
doesn't
your
have any.
proficiency bonus. We'll see you next time.
Hey, lawful evil party!